Okay. Hello? Because I don't hear you. Okay.
Hello.
Hello?
No,
Because I
that's
don't
fine.
hear you. Okay.
Hello.
Hello? Damn. Soviet?
Hi.
Okay. Are you on the stream? Are you on the stream?
I'm waiting for it to show up. It's not. I have to click it again.
Well, it should. It tells me it's live since 1 minute.
Yep.
All
Okay,
right.
good to go.
Let's see. So, are you using the build order for denial of the transport or a normal one here?
This is standard.
Okay.
So I managed to mess up the beginning slightly with. Put it this way, I know that you're meant to have engineers go into the rocks as quickly as possible. Or at least the first one to go max big rock, second max big rock. But this one I just screwed up and I stalled a little bit. But that's not what kills me. Like I can
Yeah.
tell
You're not making any maxes for some reason.
this clicked.
Yeah. I suppose that you know what the mistake here is. You need to.
Yep,
You don't.
that's the first.
Yeah, that's pretty big one actually. Because it delays the maxes massively and will stall probably
Yeah.
most because of that. Also, are you going first transport?
So the plan was, so I'm going first transport with the plan of I scout ahead to his island. If it turns out his transport's on the other island, then I drop 4 engineers on his island and take it. If not,
Okay.
then well I just the island in the middle.
Okay, so if you are going for first transport, then you need 10 pigeons. With 9 pigeons, if you are going like for a transport rush, you need 10 pigeons. Like 9 pigeons, you'll stall a little bit, you won't be able to assist. One right now it won't matter since you must stall anyway. But if you wouldn't have made the mistake of like, the build order wouldn't be so bad because of the maxes, you would have need more power.
Because I'm not sure whether I did purely because I reclaimed trees and that was like make up the shortfall is what I found out. But I don't know if that's because I not meant to reclaim trees groups in the meantime or what. But normally I did 10. Then it's after I listened to your advice, and do you really need this? I said, I still actually have a good 2,000 left in the bank. Do I need this 10th PJ?
Well,
That's
yeah, you don't need it because you fucked up and you stalled mass, basically. That's the reason. Yeah, 9 can be fine as well, but then it's you need to be sure because going 10 is just safer. It also depends what you wanna do. If you wanna like get a second factory, get a lot of air spam, or live with ACU, and then you don't need so much power anyways because you won't have build power. But yeah, like 9 is okay, but I think it sometimes can be quite risky. Also, I know that sometimes when you're annoyed, it's nice to spam chat a little bit, and I do it as well, but it's usually not a good thing because you don't focus on the game so much anymore.
Hmm.
But I do it as well, so I cannot really flame you for that. Yeah. Living the ace. Living with ACU right now is good. Yeah, it's good, it's good. Because you don't have that many resources in the bank. And you don't know, and he could be dropping your island as well, it's not scouted, so yeah, it's the good thing to do. You need naval factory, like this engine should be building navy right now. This map is all about getting your 3 islands. If you get 4, you will usually win the game. It's about getting a lot of early navy. Like there are so many maxes that can be killed, and once you get the navy fight in frigs is insanely snowballing. So if you have, for example, three frigates to one, then you kill it nearly for free, since the frigates have so much HP. So uh, It's like when you get a nice advantage and you get more and more frigates, and the advantage just keeps on growing and snowballing, then you can easily win a game of that.
Yeah, about that. You might get canned. What happens later?
Yeah, like I don't understand this NG at all. Like, why is it building this max? Like, what the fuck?
I don't.
You're very slow with third factory. Like, you have tons of resources. You should be building already since like 1 minute with 2 or 3 NGs navy and also get another air factory. It's just a very slow transition, and also the transport was idle, so this island gets really delayed.
Yep.
Yeah, doesn't look good. Luckily for you, he doesn't have navy as well. One thing I am actually started doing on this map is going for very early navy to crush, and if you can get both your islands, they are a little bit delayed, and you need to be careful about T2R. But I think like I built these two maxes, and then with these two NGs, I immediately start making navy as my transport is leaving. So because I really don't like the kind of meta that you live with your transport with your AC and just click maxes. Because before they can repay, actually I think making frigates and denying enemy maxes is much better. But that's just my opinion. But this is
Okay.
like the most standard gameplay is to get some maxes because you don't have build power. And
Yeah.
it's kind of safe. But yeah, the navy was late, and also you don't have, if you go for the standard eco version, then you need T2R. Like immediately after the ASU leaves, you want to get like I don't know 6 pigeons, get air factory, make like maybe 2 intis to be safe, and once you have energy, just go immediately T2. Like your opponent does the same thing that you do, right? The same idea basically, but he
Yeah.
already has T2R.
Yeah. It was much faster, which I was surprised by when I got the replay, just me being slow.
Yeah, well, there was a situation where you had like 500 mass in the bank, was floating
Yeah.
100 energy, and just wasn't doing anything. Like, this really matters. And now you don't have enough energy. Because, really struggling. Like, where's all your energy going? This
Uh,
is.
engineers building a naval factory. There's a mech to upgrading to Tech
100.
2. That's a
This
100.
max, like this max upgrade, and this one should be immediately paused when you see
Yeah.
this situation. Like you cannot possibly finish them. You need power, and also just started a transport, even though you're stalling already. So it will just make you stall even harder. You need to post all air. Just make 5 pigeons to fix the situation. Yeah, that looks pretty. Like this should be game over more or less right now. And at higher levels it will be if you make
Yeah.
so many mistakes in the beginning. Because he didn't do really any damage. Like this bomber is alright through 2 engines, but it doesn't really matter anymore.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it does a little bit, but not that much. It delays the factory a little bit, but
I actually just forgot about it. I sent it there, killed an NG, then didn't click again. Like,
yeah, this power stall is just losing you the game.
yep.
Is there anything interesting even after, or is it like slow and painful death?
No, I actually win this, but
Game.
it's to do with the fact that I get to the stage of like when I watch the higher levels play, right? Apart from the fact that yes, they have a stable opening, it's they get frigates, they do damage with them, but as you see in this one, when I try and do it, they just get torpedo bombed and then end up with a massive frigate just sitting there doing nothing out of fear of getting raped by air.
Well, yeah, the thing is that you wanna have just enough air. If you go for like frigate spam, you want to have enough air so he cannot like turn into full torpedo and never throw your air. Then, like the thing is, he has 40 inches versus your like 30. You will lose air, so you don't engage. But if he goes, but he cannot also switch into full torpedo production because then he will fall behind eventually in intis as well. So as long as you don't throw the air, then he usually, if you are a little bit ahead, then you usually cannot get the critical air win to actually crush all your frigates. Because if you have like 7 frigates, they kill 1 torp pretty easily. And also frigates are insanely tanky, so.
Okay.
The thing is just do not throw air, because if you throw air, then he can just spam 15 torps and kill all your frigates, and it's a mass donation. And especially if you're like, it's not scouted, that's also the problem. You don't see how much eco he has. You don't even see that he has, for 3 minutes, he has T2R.
Yep.
And also, you're like, where's your T2? This is like, you're making economy, a lot of economy as well. You need T2 pigeon. Oh yeah, you have now, but it's like really late.
It is.
Also adjacency maybe, next to factory. Pretty good, like 1 pigeon here, 1 pigeon here, and he'll shield. And also pass your factory when you're rushing the pigeon and all your maxes. Just, you can even be lazy and click all maxes and post them, just like that. This is decent. Not sure if it will do that much damage. Right now you are really behind. But your opponent also fucked up. And this is nice damage. Because he didn't react in time with PD. So this will actually be pretty brutal. This is really nice from you. But you need some artists. Like, only tanks won't do much. Because if you had gotten the PD up, this will be just denied. If you were to have at least 2 Medusa, then it would first kill the structures much easily. And remember that Medusa has the stun. So it can easily kill the PD with your Mounties. Because it just cuts the DPS of the turret in like half or something like that. Also, you didn't have any NGs sent to this. If you don't send any early NGs here, then you need to drop this.
Yep.
And if you're going to use PDs versus frigates, then you need radar, because as you can see here,
yeah,
not really working out. You want to build radars, because in case of drops, bombers and stuff like that, you basically want radar on every island. And after you get the T2 pigeon, the radars are so cheap that you have been power stalling for the past like 2 minutes more or less. Since you got to T2R, you have been power stalling because you're just forcing economy for no reason. It's just not worth it. Like, you try to force your T2 max while also cutting the mass production because of the power stall, and like you lose, I don't know, 30 mass per second to build a T2 max that will produce 4 more mass per second. So not really a good idea.
So it's like, in this situation, he's got torpedo bombers on my frigates running around on his main island. Am I meant to send inties to try and kill them, or what?
Well, you can try to send like 2 inties to catch 1 torpedo, but you don't go in blindly because you will just throw error. So in your spot right now, you need to scout you need to really scout how many maxes he has. You can see that he has probably 5, 6, 7. You killed those, which is really nice. He has like 7 maxes, 7 to 8. You have 9 and extra 1 because of the storage. So you have 10 maxes. So you have economy advantage right now. So what you wanna do is not throw the lead currently. You have less air, more eco, and probably equal navy more or less. Like, I would judge by the game, or maybe even a little bit more navy. So you want a single frigate raid around the island. You probably don't wanna go too ham on his main island since it's so easy to defend. You wanna split the frigates, so 1 goes here, 1 goes here, and then you wanna decide if you go T2 navy with cruisers or go air, and also so he cannot torp your frigates anymore. So either you go frigs plus air or T2 navy and ignore air and try to do damage with navy and then transition into T2 navy with cruisers. That's your basically 2 options here. There's also T3R, but that's like not on the table yet, and it's really risky on that map, I would say. If you don't...
I made the decision to do this like Zo does, which is to go T3 air and gunships, but it doesn't work.
I don't like it. Why are you making torps? Like, you know he has more. He has been using torps as well. Why are you making torps?
To
Like,
do the same as he is, he's not going to risk his air, and I can't be asked to chase his frigates with my frigates. I'm just going to torp them instead.
yeah, but don't make too much. Just 5 is. I'm not sure.
That was the reason.
Alright, but I'm not sure how behind you are on there. Like, he should be massively ahead. Yeah, he isn't actually. What the fuck is he doing? Oh my god. Like, he had so much air protection, so much more power. You were stalling for 3 minutes. That's insane. Yeah, a couple torches alright, I guess. You're pretty slow to rebuild the maxes though. Like, and also, yeah, you got the radar, but... You're still power stalling. Come on, dude. Fix your power.
Right, so in future, if I'm building it and power stalling, pause there, fix it, restart. Okay?
Could you repeat?
In future, stop air, fix power, restart.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And also, if you power stalling or mass stalling, don't make more maxes. Make what if your maxes are like above 50% completed, and then you need to finish the maxes, but one at a time. Don't upgrade like 3 when you're already stalling. Preferably with assists, so you finish them as soon as possible. Okay, so it doesn't look bad right now. You have 11 to... Wait, I cannot... I had... He has T3 max. Alright, I think that's a misclick, I hope so. Which is 8. Okay, so you still didn't scout, you don't really know what to do, because you don't know how much eco he has. And so without this knowledge, you cannot really make the best decision, but you can do still good decisions, which would be to finally drop your freaking expansions here and probably transition into more R, I would say. It's not yet time for T2 Navy, I don't think so. Just also on this map, be really careful not to over eco, because you can easily get rolled on one side with Navy if you don't scout properly and over eco, and lose your whole island and lose the game because of that. Like, I've seen so many people over ecoing on this map. And you really need to step up your game and scouting, because you don't even know that he has a T3 max. Like, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
Also, you don't need to drop this islands, you can walk if you are not going for early navy, but if you are going for some navy and you need to build power and base, then just drop these. I think it's about time to make sonars here and here. They are really cheap.
Somewhat, right?
T2 sonars. Like, let's see how much it costs actually. It's 150 mass, and it has really decent range here. If you make one here and here, you can easily chase the frigates and see them coming, kill them with torps and stuff. The other thing is that you can just spread your frigates a little bit if you're defensive, so you can get a lot of radar coverage. But yeah, right now he's doing some air cancer, so you just need to, like, if you see, I hope you have a minimap, if you can see that like you start losing maxes, just take like this intis and just, yeah, attack move. Don't move at all, just attack move all the way. Because you'll just fly past the gunship, because you don't know where it is currently. Yeah, you see? Yeah. You'll just fly past it. Well, you didn't scout it actually, which is pretty bad, but... yeah. Also, these islands are really nice because they give a lot of radar coverage. But yeah, T2 radars and T2 sonars are pretty good here on the islands, once you have T2 power. Okay, you spot the transport, so you should react. You should build a PD here and get PDs ready, since you know it's NG transport. Also, I really don't understand this. Like, moving a commander for 1 max seems kinda bad. Like, because of that, like, if you wouldn't have moved your commander, I mean, sure, the likelihood of the drop is not that high, but it's not that low either. So, like, you have NGs here, right? NGs are faster than ACU, they will get the max faster, so there's like no reason to get the max with ACU. Yeah, and you have ACU on the island for a reason. You just didn't react to the drop. It could have been easily avoided either with the ACU if you wouldn't have moved, or with just few artists to instantly kill everything. Yeah, that is. Yeah, you need some guys on patrol here since he has the slow airfrag with the bombers coming around your expansion on attack move.
Oh, okay.
So either get an T1 AA turret on the way of the bombers, or you need to have permanently some intis there. Also, a good thing that you would want is air staging on your island. When you have any patrolling stuff, then air staging, it has giant range, so anything within that range will go and automatically go and repair or auto refuel at that air staging. So having one on each island is pretty nice. This is like some smaller stuff, but it's pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
I'm trying to implement it as well, because air staging is insanely OP. Like, for example, let's imagine that you have like probably in like future in like 4 minutes you will have around 80 intis, right? But actually no, because you have T3R, never mind. But usually around you have, when you start to get to the number of intis like 60, 50, then your the intis you built before that just stockpiled usually run out of fuel pretty fast because they flew a lot in the early game. So then suddenly you have like 60 intis, but like 30 of them are out of fuel, and the out of fuel ones are pretty much useless. So without like air staging, that just can double your air potential, just 1 or 2 air staging when you get to that point. So it's really powerful, and people don't like use it at all, basically, because they are not used to that. But if you get into a habit of building like T2 radar, air staging, and T2 sonar, you get so much intel to deal with this kind of cancer. Like the cancer that currently he is doing and Slow is doing only works when you don't have intel, really. If you have proper intel, it's so easy to counter like single bombers, frigates, arties, drops, and stuff like that. And intel in this game is really cheap, so you just need to remember about it, really. Like, you just don't pay attention here. You have so many frigates to defend, but they are in some random positions instead of like one here, one here, one here, one here, and then your main army here. Like 4 frigates can easily like radar screen the whole side, and you have your army behind it. So if you pay attention, you won't lose them at all as well. But you just let them slip through, and now your whole army of 20 frigates, that's like 5,000 mass, is moving back to kill 2 frigates. Instead, you could have raided the whole thing here. Like, he has 6 frigates versus your 20. So it's lack of intel, lack of scouting, and not the proper unit management right now. And in the early game, it was eco management. And by the way, you still haven't scouted the T3 max, and only like somehow you see the T3 pigeon, but you didn't scout his base for how much is that? Like 9 minutes, basically. Just now, when you get T3, you scout, but you're like. Just right now you scout, and you see he has two T3 maxes, 2 T3 pigeons, T3 air. And he's going T2 navy. And you're going first in strat. Like, you bring your 3 ASFs, but you don't bring your main air force, which is your intis. And your strat bomber should just die. Like, it shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah, it isn't.
And it doesn't do anything. Like, these T2 pigeons don't matter. Like, you just... Basically, what you did for him is fix his economy. Because he can just reclaim those. He has 2 T3 pigeons. He should reclaim them anyway. Like, if he has the APM. So you just helped him, basically. Lost the strat, that was really bad, and also he'll get reclaimed. At least it lands in the water, but still. Yeah, that was really bad. You didn't... Like, you scouted ahead, but you didn't screen for the strat. And even though you scouted, you didn't change your mind. You saw he had T3 air, he had T3 pigeons. Like, you should then change your target to these T2 maxes and kill those T2 maxes instead, and try to win air if you have more. And that strat was just useless.
Yep.
Yeah, if you have trouble with units in the back, just spam like 10 T1 scouts and patrol your back of the base, really. If you cannot, because you cannot afford Omni yet, so you just spam some T1 scouts. Like you can easily, this side, like behind this line, he won't use any intis to catch your scouts, so he cannot really deny them. And also like losing this island while having 2 T2 factories here and spotting the drop is like, and moving away the AC as well. Yeah, that was really bad. Like, this could have been easily game losing. And the strat afterwards. Yeah. Okay, so right now you have a lot of frigates. But he has T2 Navy, so you need to... Okay, so right now you see he has 2 T3 maxes, he has 4 islands. He will have insane amount of eco advantage, so you need to deal damage right now. You need to either kill his island or take back yours. Do you have air advantage? Let's see. You have 5.5.
I felt that I did after he was chasing my strat, so my plan was to take back my island. But at the same time, I have all these frigates, but what the fuck am I doing with them? They can only kill the outer nexus, which is left with Tech 1. And if I keep attacking him, I'm just going to dump him mass, so I'm just going to lost at this stage.
Yeah, I don't know why, but you have more mech, like, yeah, when you have more frigates, you can just trade with him. And if you don't give him back the reclaim later, you just win the trade, and that's how you snowball as well. So, look how many frigates you have. You have 68 versus 45. You could easily fight here. Like, you have more. Like 10 more frigates, it's a good trade. And if you know that he doesn't have air advantage, you can just fight there. And then maybe try do a drop with units to kill this. Or make T2 Navy and try to take it. But yeah, now it's too late. Like, for the whole game, you weren't really abusing the fact that he was making some economy. Like, he made fucking T3 max at 10 or 11 minutes. That's like, should be punished. That's like 5,000 mass, nearly. How much is it? 4,600 mass. That's like most of your army at this point. Yeah, you tried to take back your island, but he has a lot of anti-air here, so it's kinda hard. But you will succeed, I suppose, which is nice. But this is just you trying to get equal with him while also being behind on the economy, so it's not gonna really work. And your frigates are for some reason split insanely, and you try to attack. You should have, like, you get a nice idea that you need to shift G the frigates because they are split up, but you don't shift G here, shift G here and try to defend. You don't wanna, like, you have less here, you don't wanna fight, you want to regroup and wait for the torps to do damage. And also, sending all of this is really risky. Like, right now, what he can do is wait for this army to be in the middle, fall back with those frigates, and then attack here, and before you respond, you'll lose half your economy on this island, and probably the HQ. So moving away those frigates without knowing how much army he is here is really risky. It's just a coin flip. If your enemy would have been playing a little bit better and actually using his units, you would have been dead by now. Like, he had such a massive economy lead, map control lead, and he wasn't even behind that much on navy or air. He's just not playing properly. Like, he is equal in air, he has less navy but not much. Because he has less T1 but he has T2. So in concentrated fights, if he kites a little bit, he wins as well. Like, he has COEF, so the destroyers are pretty bad, but still, they are not the worst. And they are pretty decent versus frigs, but he needs to group up. I don't know, like, he splits half-wheel army for no reason. Instead of going in with the destroyers, he doesn't scout either. Yeah, right now your position is really bad. You need to take back your island, and either you cannot really do damage. You can do only damage with air. So that's what you need to do. Repair those bad boys, yeah, you're doing that, which is nice. You should repair your air and try to do some damage. Cause with navy, you don't have mass for navy. Like before you will do damage with Navy, if you invested it, his T3 maxes already will pay off, and he will just lose with this income difference. Your hope is getting a lot of reclaim from that. Yeah, you need your third T3 power for sure right now, because you have some mass in storage that you wanna spend on air. Yeah, I would say right now you should attack this expansion, because this one has a lot of anti-air, this one has not that much. There's like few T1 and T2, you can easily kill those with your gunships and your strats. But you cannot, like right now, you have less economy, so this is your window to do damage and come back with that. So we don't really want to be AFK.
Okay.
Right, I need to go soon, so we need to fast forward through this a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, fast forward is fine. That was the main sticking point anyway.
I'm still amazed that you win this. Like, he made so many mistakes. He's just sitting on his income. He's not... Like, he's sitting on 200 mass for the past 5 minutes. He didn't make any extra T3 maxes. He did let you catch up a little bit. And you get a lot of reclaim here. The 10,000, that's pretty big. Do you make any T3 maxes? Yeah, you do. That's nice. Yeah, right now it reaches late game stages, so you need T2 Navy, you have T2 Navy. Where do you have T2 Navy here? That's nice. Why are you going for cruisers? Like, the errors equal are in your favor, so you wanna spam destroyers, you don't wanna go for cruisers. Unless you wanna attack with Navy and also use air and use cruisers to win air control. But
that was the
yeah, but you have less Navy, so he'll just kill your cruiser.
Okay.
Like, he had T2 Navy for so long, but he doesn't actually have that much assist on it either. Why is he so defensive? Like, look at the amount of defensive unit. The only reason he lost, basically... Jesus, that's like 5,000 mass here. If you... Wait, let me see. Let's see how much stuff he puts into defenses. That's like 11,000 mass into static defenses that haven't yet achieved anything. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And he has so much armor actually now, but he's not using it. He's not doing any damage to you with it. So yeah, now that you spot his air force, yeah, cruisers are good, but you didn't scout it before. So, and especially seeing how much earlier he had the T2 Navy, it was quite risky. Wow, nice. Who would have expected that? Yeah, you should just... Yeah, you're doing really well. When your opponent is doing something on one side of the map, and you're behind on air, but he cannot have his air force cut in half and in two different positions. So while he screens for his attack here, you attack here with air. But you need to be careful so you don't lose the offensive air units. You need cruisers there. Yeah, now the cruisers are actually really nice, but he has cruiser on his own. Yeah. Right now you wanna win that fight, Navy fight, get reclaim and try to win game of that and do damage on this island, because for some reason he has T3 maxes here instead of in his main base. You took an airfight that had, like, you had no chance, no business in this airfight. I don't understand why did you took it.
I thought I could get behind him, but then I couldn't see him. I just guessed and failed horribly.
Well, still, if you get behind him, he can just patrol and win anyways, because he has 3 times your numbers. So yeah, you will get like 7 ASS for free, and then you'll lose your whole air force. And also, you didn't even fight over your cruiser. But that wouldn't change anything. He had like 3 times more ASF. That was bad. And somehow he killed your island twice with Sparkies. Like, come on. The first time, okay, you didn't react. The second time, you should have been prepared at least a little bit. And now the Torpgaden begins. because he just threw air. You see, like before he won air, he didn't basically make any offensive. Like he didn't make a lot of offensive air units because he wasn't sure, because he didn't scout your air first. But once he wins air, then suddenly he'll just go full throttle into offensive air units. So that's what I mean. If you go for Navy win, you just cannot throw your air, because that's a perfect signal to your opponent to just switch to full torpedo. Because you saw that even though he had like 3 times more air, he wasn't like proactive with it. He was just waiting. But once you lose your air for no reason, then that's when you start to get fucked by air. Because people at this level are pretty scared to... Like, if they don't know for sure that they want air, they won't really bait you or use some air units to bait your air or something. At least not intentionally, most of the time. So they will just wait on and sit on their air advantage, yeah. Now he's just throwing his air for no reason. Yeah, you kind of need to take back your island and most importantly get this reclaim. There's 25,000 reclaim here. Like you need to, when you engage in a big navy fight, you should already start building navy factories behind you to get the reclaim immediately. That's how you win games.
Okay.
You take a good fight and take reclaim after it, and you usually win game off that. Okay, I need to go now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else interesting happening?
Not really. Those are all the salient points. I was surprised I managed to come back into this one as well. But yeah, exactly why I need your advice on this.
Yeah. Sorry, but I have it in there now, so I need to go.
No worries. See you later.
Yeah, see ya later.